Take a minute and share with us. It's worth your time. I say what's on my mind. I just wanna make a change in your life. Take yours with mine too. We can reveal the truth. Conversation with Dr. Creative. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Conversations with Dr. Creative. I'm happy to be here. This has been a great day for me. Look at the sun starting to shine. And I'm happy. I'm blessed. I'm here. We're doing it. I have another great conversation in store for y'all today. Some of y'all absolutely know who this individual is just from all the great works that he's been doing in his community. And some of you guys may or may not know who he is. At the end of this interview, you're absolutely going to know who he is. I'm honored that he would take a quick little moment out of his day and chat with me, as people of his caliber just don't do that. Okay, so I'm excited. I want to go ahead and just give him a little bit of love. Today, I am sitting down with someone who wears a whole lot of hats. He wears every single last one of them with a crown. Kenneth Watson, aka the Rich Uncle, is that guy that turns ideas into empires. He's out here flipping houses, building brands, putting folks onto health, equity, and financial gain, all while keeping it clean, curated, and connected. From mortgages to gourmet experiences to the AI-powered wellness platforms, Kenneth is not just chasing the bag, he's creating blueprints. And what I love the most is that he does it all with purpose and style. Let's get into it as we introduce to the screen the one and the only Kenneth Watson. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I have to take you on the road with me because I ain't never felt so good.
Really? That's so good. I really do write them myself, and I think about what the person means to me and what I've noticed and why I think they're so impactful. And so I'm grateful for you to be here.
I truly appreciate being here and you selecting me to be on your platform. I'm really excited to chat with you today.
Oh, me too, me too. So how's the day going? Let's just start off simple. How's the day going for you? How many things have you done today so far?
Oh my gosh. So today is a win because I actually got up and I was able to get to the gym.
Yeah.
That's been really important for me to kind of keep some type of routine. But as in how many things I have gotten done, that is one. I have done 4 meetings thus far, walked the dog, I've eaten, and I've shown a property all before 1 o'clock. So welcome to my day.
Sounds like fun. You go, boy.
Sure, I'll take it. It is fun because one, it keeps me busy, it keeps me involved. But also I'm very passionate about the different things that I'm doing. And I feel like I'm right there on the precipice of just something really, really game changing in all of these different sort of buckets that I got going on.
Absolutely. I feel that's what really attracted me to you and the things that you do. I feel I'm a firm believer that nobody should limit themselves by one talent, by one thing.
Yeah.
Right? There are multiple ways to making it where you want to make it. And you just scream multi-talented. You know, you scream that through the works that you do, and whether it's rehabbing and cooking, which that food looks good. Okay. And I do a little 1, 2, 3 myself, but
Okay.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to get like you. And then not just that, just like how you like to create your businesses. And also I really admire your style and the things that you take for and dares. Like your fashion is on point too. So it's all the things that I find and I've seen you do throughout the years that I think is super impressive, and it encourages those who are like me. And I always preach to those who like, oh, I can sing, I can act, I can dance, I can cook, I like fashion, I can do hair, all the things, and not limiting yourself. So thank you for just giving that part of yourself and not saying, oh, this page is just for rehab or this page is just for the health. Like you're able to really give people a sense that it all can be done if you have the drive and if it's your calling. Because if it's not your calling, then it won't work out for you.
I totally agree. And again, thank you for those kind words, especially in a world where everyone is telling you to sort of niche down, right? You cannot be your complex self. The algorithm won't pay attention. Investors
Yeah.
won't understand.
Yeah.
It's really sort of difficult to stay sort of strong suited within yourself before you start to begin to doubt yourself. So again, thank you for those kind words, because every day I'm like, am I on the right path? What
You
am
on the
I
right path.
doing here?
You're on the right path. And I'll stop giving you all these praises. So I know you're probably tired of me. But so how did you come up with Rich Uncle? Like we always know we make jokes, we have see videos and things like that of the rich auntie and rich uncle. But why did you want to put that as like a thing, a part of your brand?
Got you. So it originally started, I had sold my first business, which is Esquire Meals, healthy food, nutritious meal prep, luxury leftovers, basically,
Absolutely.
right during COVID. And I realized that I didn't want another business that was attached to me. I wanted to create sort of a lifestyle brand of what this would be, because I got over just over exhausted with everything that was going on. So the Rich Uncle came about as the fact, like, I don't have any children, I'm not partnered, but my siblings do. And so I get to be sort of live a different type of life. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but I get to experience life and really just take the risks that other people aren't able to do. And so that's the lifestyle that I wanted to sort of sell, is like, just take the risk, do the weird thing, have fun, and enjoy yourself while doing it. And if it is sparkling water, if it is sort of a huge bathroom that you lay in with opulence, right?
Yes.
Enjoy it, because we're only here once and we don't have to wait until we die to experience paradise. How can we experience paradise here on earth?
Absolutely. I find that very encouraging. I think that people put a lot of pressure on the kid thing.
Yeah.
They put a lot of pressure on the marriage thing. And how do you navigate through that stuff?
It's difficult. It's really difficult, because even there's days when I'm like, I do all these things, I should be partnered, right? And then you
Mhm.
get those external influences. It's like, all right, you're getting up there in age. What are you going to do about that? And it's not necessarily like I haven't been working on it. I just necessarily haven't found a partner that
Yeah.
complements me. And so that's sort of that keeps me sane and thinking about all of this, is that I've been in situations where a partner has thrown me off for a year. And
Oof.
so much sort of progress that could have been done in building their dreams or whatever that happens to be, is that in these couple of years that I have left, and hopefully there's a lot of them, I don't want anyone to kind of deter me off that track. I want them to complement, and we can build together. I can learn from them and hopefully they can learn for something like from me. So if it's not that, then please get out of my way. I'm moving like a freight truck right now. So
Yeah.
it keeps me grounded and all that. Like, it would be nice, but I also understand that everyone's medicine here on earth may not be to find romantic partnership.
Hmm.
I might have to find partnership in different ways and still get fulfilled in that way. And that doesn't mean that my 3-month relationship or my 2-month situationship isn't just as valuable as somebody that has been married 50 years, because it's the experience that I'm able to pull from that relationship, and how that begins to sort of guide my traction going forward.
Very interesting. I'm a firm believer that partnership is needed. I believe that, right? And I believe that um it has to be a special person to be with someone who is a goal getter, right?
Right.
Not everybody can handle that kind of person, because I'm going to do what I got to do to reach my goals. I'm going to do what I got to do to nothing that's going to compromise me, but I'm going to do what I got to do to get to the next level in which I want to be. I'm not good at being stagnant. And if I
Right.
have something that is creatively working in my mind, or if I feel like I want to travel a place, I'm going to go to satisfy that itch, because usually in those situations, something new bursts from those things, right?
Mhm.
And I tell to people all the time, like, if you're dating someone um, because of riches, that's not going to last.
No.
People need support. What's most important to me is feeling like I can roll over at the middle of the night and say, you know what? I'm stressed out. I did a lot today, and blase, blase, blase. And I feel like I'm being listened to and heard. That's more valuable than even intimate, like the sex, intimacy, part of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I hear you on that, but I'm always like, I'm happy for what I have, and I need that support to help push me to the next level. But it can distract the hell out of you too, because I've been in those situations too, where all I wanted to do is just like, baby, what you need? I got you. Like, and I'm lifting someone up as I'm staying right here, and this is never a good place to be.
Right.
So,
And that's like if it's healthy too, right? And I've been
yeah.
in some situations that have been very, very interesting. And because you're so distracted with the emotional part, because you're trying to figure out, I learned my lesson about going through phones. But whatever those
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go through a phone, because you're going to find something, or you may even interpretate something that's not even right.
exactly.
Just stop with the
Don't do it.
phones, stop with the
Don't
laptops, the
touch it.
iPads, just
Blissful ignorance. Blissful ignorance.
because you know what you need to know, it really does come out when you need to know. And so I tell people, just, we're too grown for that.
I agree. And I know that this isn't a conversation about relationships, but I also like in doing so, my vision of relationships has also been altered. And not saying that like I am on the open relationship picket line, like make it happen. But I look at relationships as I don't have ownership over a person, right? They're allowed to have relationships with other people, not necessarily romantic. You have a relationship with your mother, you have a relationship with your best friend. And those relationships, those conversations are just as sacred as the conversation that I have with my partner.
Absolutely.
So if I'm going through phones and all of this because I'm not trusting, right? I'm breaking their fiduciary, and I'm sounding like a lawyer, their fiduciary trust to the people that they have relationships with because of my insecurities. So I got to kind of manage the people that I have around me, because if you incite my insecurity, then you're going to throw me off for a while. And I can't have that on the progress that I'm on.
I know that's right. Come on. Got some knowledge in you. I know. I love that. Okay. So are you in Baltimore? Is it
I'm in Baltimore.
Okay. How's things in Baltimore? Good morning, Baltimore.
Baltimore is Baltimore. And it's really nice. And it's also an interesting time to be a part of the city sort of renaissance. I've been living in Baltimore roughly 11 years. I moved here after I graduated law school in DC.
Where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina, Charlotte.
What part?
Charlotte. Oh, yeah, baby.
You got that's where the food come from. Okay.
Exactly.
Got a little thick over there. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I ain't never been slim. I went from husky.
No, that's right.
All right.
Go ahead.
But Baltimore is in this really, really interesting nexus where a lot of community involvement can kind of change the perception. I think like it just has a really bad rep. The Wire didn't make it good from that perspective. But I think that just being like in the city, seeing all of the development that's going on, the culture, the people, it's a really nice place to be. It reminds me of DC when I first got there back in 2011, when it was kind of still chocolate. And you kind of still have that same type of energy here. My hope is that we can kind of keep it for a little while longer, a lot while longer.
What would you say to people who want to be involved in like a city revamp or whatever the case is? Like, what are the steps for that? Because I have a friend who we literally was talking yesterday, talking about how, oh yeah, I want to do this in the community. I want to do this in the community, but he feels like he doesn't know how to start. What would you say are the best things to do? I only gave him some not whack. They were good suggestions. Okay. I told him, I said, well, have you joined any community groups? I was like, have you joined the NAACP? Have you found out if you have 100 Black men? These are all things that I said that I always do when I move to a new state, because I need that community and I need to figure out how I can move throughout and what is accessible for me to make change. What would you say are some of the things to do?
Yeah, I would be on the same line of that. Just really sort of get connected. A lot of times when we have ideas, we feel like we got to move as an island, but there may be somebody that's already there kind of doing the work. And when I'm talking to colleagues, I'm like, hey, sometimes you're trying to make a blanket, right? And the problem that a blanket solves is keeping you warm. But when you begin to share that idea with others and have others working on it, what you're creating is a crazy quilt. Everyone gets a piece of it and gets to mold it in the way that they sort of see it. But the problem is sort of still being solved because you want to stay warm with this quilt. And
Yeah.
so be okay with the fact that the success metrics, how it looks, how it feels may be different, but are you beginning to solve the problem and seeing that change? And I think that that's sort of the perspective change that a lot of people have to have whenever they're getting into something that's a lot bigger than themselves.
Mm. Okay. So listen, you have different mediums that you move in.
Yeah.
Out of the ones that people may see, what's the one thing that you like? You absolutely can't live without. So is it the wellness thing? Is it the design thing? Is it the tech thing? Is it real estate? What's the one thing that you just can't live without?
The one thing that I can't live without is really the wellness thing. Because the wellness thing kind of spearheaded a lot of all of my other work. So I know that we kind of haven't dug down into that. You want me to kind of explain the wellness thing, or is that later? Okay. So my background, I told you I went to law school in DC, and I started off in medical malpractice after law school. And I was on the defense side, and I got to see a lot of interesting cases from that perspective. Really, really interesting cases. We can chat about it over cocktails one day. But I
Wonderful.
ended up getting sort of burnt out being on the defense side and seeing sort of all the egregious things that were happening to people that didn't have access. So I got deeper into health tech, and I've been sort of head of product of a number of health tech companies around that dealt with either adherence, people going to medical school, cultural competence, all of this. And there were all of sort of excuses on why we couldn't necessarily create technology or features for people that look like me. If you think of technology as being like a great one connector and also bridging a divide, right? That is the one thing that we all kind of have access to that can kind of change the trajectory of our culture. So cooking, I had my meal prep business going over here. I was cooking for our people. I had cancer treatment centers, homeless shelters, up to like 200-300 meals a day. But that's only like a small piece of it, right? I can only feed you but so much. But that's what sort of brought forth the idea of HealthLink 360, which is a wellness platform for the culturally rich, for us to begin to decode the whispers in our body. What does that mean in like layman terms? So we're using all of these health apps, right? My Fitness Pal, Apple Health, this, giving you all of this unstructured data in a sense. But also what we as a culture don't understand is that data is based off of Eurocentric male data. Now, what good does white male data have for Black men in my situation, right? Because the numbers are skewed. So for a long time, we're being fed data that isn't sort of aligned with our genomic makeup, but as well as our social determinants of health, right? What goes on in the environment around you that contribute to your health. So that's the big, hairy problem that HealthLink 360 is trying to solve, taking all that unstructured data and structuring it in a way using AI, and then adding that cultural relevance on top of it to say, hey, instead of taking this medication, you might want to just take some ginger, and what your grandma say, get a ginger ale and take a nap.
Ginger ale, some noodles, and crackers. Okay, baby, and I feel better.
Exactly. Or maybe you shouldn't go outside today because the weather, the air quality isn't that good. But even deeper into that, there is certain like blood pressure medications that African Americans shouldn't take that are better for European men or Asian men, right? But we don't know those nuances. And as a culture, we don't necessarily speak about what's going on inside of our bodies. So I wanted to find a way to kind of connect us and to share that information so that we can be in a better position from a health perspective and have a better quality of life. And now once you begin to sort of think about that, you see how all these other things with like the real estate, the design kind of fold into that, because it's one thing to have the technology to connect us, and you still live in a resource desert. There isn't a grocery store, there isn't a doctor's office and all of these other things, right? So that's when I get into like my property development, trying to figure out what we can do in these Black and brown areas from an infrastructure standpoint. How can I create that while also giving them the data and information in order for them to live that better quality of life?
That actually sounds really, really good. And how has that been going?
Being a Black founder is tough.
That's why I asked.
This has been, the technology thing has been one of the hardest projects I've ever done. And stuff usually comes easy to me. But it's really difficult because I find myself having
When you think too hard, it becomes too political. I need you to just
I know,
talk
right?
like I know who you are. I don't even know you. Like,
That was my lawyer kicking in, like,
I
all
see
right
it. What can I
now.
say that's not gonna make me look crazy? I need to still get this money, so I need them to say the right thing.
Yeah, but I'm in a space where there aren't many Black men, there aren't many Black gay men, and I'm talking about Black issues to people that don't look like me. So that's one big hill to climb, right? That's that Black app over there, and it's trying to help Black people. Yes,
Right.
period. But also, you have to think about the interesting political times we're in right now, where uh, compared to George Floyd in 2020, the pandemic, where you don't see Juneteenth stuff on the shelves anymore, and all
Yeah.
of this sort of information about don't use diversity or don't use these words. It's a really interesting time to say, hey, I'm building a culture first wellness platform, and I want to make sure that people from the African diaspora are taken care of first. We're building AI algorithms around their unique idiosyncrasies, their perspectives, and then we'll grow it from that. So when you're looking from like an investor standpoint, or you're talking to people that don't really look like you, they don't get it unless they see themselves in it. But we've been
Mm-hmm.
seeing ourselves out of a lot of situations before in the past. So I'm trying to use technology to kind of turn it around. I think that that's what makes it the difficult part for me, because the conversation is we invest in founders. And if you have a good idea and you're good backing, then we will invest in you. But I got the social media following, I got the education, I have the experience. What is the issue that you're still telling me no? And so it gets into that. And I was like, this is sort of the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, because it requires people outside of me to get the thing done. I can't just be like, move out the way, I got it.
Man, I work in entertainment. I've been in entertainment for over 22 years. Um, and I've been in leadership in entertainment for more than half of those years, right?
Yeah.
And the pandemic hit, it was very much after that area is very much diversity, DEI, put Black people in leadership. Like it was very much that.
Right.
And it's interesting to see how our culture has shifted so fast. And seeing some of my colleagues who were in leadership roles no longer there, boards and organizations really revamping and things going to a place where it's not catered to us, right?
Yeah.
And our people feeling like they don't have a voice, and also our Black leaders feeling like they don't have a voice. And I always say we have to make the same noise that they make when they feel like they're not represented, or their ideas and social construct is not being seen. And I'm speaking from an arts lens, right?
Yeah.
So how do our people support you in your venture with the AI? Oh, I brought it around, right? Like
Okay.
that. So
Yeah.
how do we help, bring awareness to what you're doing? Also, how do we support? Like, what are those things? Because I want to be able to support. I don't know much about wellness, except I need to lose a little bit of weight. But other than that, like, how do we step in with you?
Got you. Well, thank you for that. One of the first things if you have connections with any type of funders, if you want to give funds for us to kind of move through this development, then that is sort of the first step is you can help give money, because it takes money to build these things in a HIPAA compliant way. So compared to some of my colleagues that might be putting out technology, they can start off scrappy. I also know our history, right? And we have a traditional mistrust for the medical community. So I want to get it right the first time before I introduce it, which takes capital. But outside of that, we do have a wait list that we are adding people to daily. It's up to about 2,000 people. And as soon as we are launching the app, which should be later on this year, you all will be the beta testers to begin to use it and tell me kind of what's going on. What do you like? What don't you like? How can we better the app and sort of we grow this thing like Facebook? Because I think that that's really needed. We've been in a situation where we've had to ask people a lot about including us. I want to have a space where we don't necessarily have to ask to be included. You are already included in the beginning, and I'm trying to find ways that you get paid for sharing that health data as well, because our health data has been used against us in so many ways that it's bonkers when you start to really look at the data. But I think that right now there goes my lawyer coming in, tapping me on the shoulder. But anywho, we have to really be culture first. And we have to figure out how to connect with each other and amplify the voices that is doing it. So if people can just share a post, come out to one of the events HealthLink 360 is doing with some of our social media influencers or our wellness experts. Or even if you have ideas, like throw it at me. I really want to create community with the app and figure out how do we become a healthier people, because it's preventative diseases that's taking us up out of here. It's things that we're putting in our mouth, where we live. We're not getting old enough to get some of those real issues. It's simple things. But as the AI continues to grow, the data continues to grow. Let me say one more thing too. Don't be scared of AI. And I think that that's a misnomer in our culture as well, because we hear a lot of negative things about it taking jobs. It's going to get emotions and take over the world. Hopefully not, but also think about how quickly it's able to structure unstructured data and make your life a lot easier. So as people kind of join onto the HealthLink 360 ride and share their insights, I want this app to grow along with us as a people, and we begin to make the moves that we need to move, especially as we go into precision medicine, precision care. How can they get precise if they don't have accurate data?
Dope. And I love that. And so keep on with the work. And also, if things come up and you need a person to host anything, I got your back. I'm going to make sure I get my black ass on that list so that I am a part of that beta, because it's important that we're a part of those things, you know?
Yeah. I really want us to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Next question for you.
Okay.
What was the last movie you watched?
Sinners. I know I don't really watch movies too much, but Sinners Sinners? That's the one with Michael B. Jordan, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
What did you think? What did you think?
Oh, I loved it. You know, I'm big on like cultural intelligence and like the under meaning.
Can we tap into it? Like, it was so good. It was so good.
Oh my gosh, I got in there and I was getting chills. I want to watch it again in the movie theater, because I think there's so much cultural relevance and reverence that's in that movie, that we, again, during these very trying times, we need to take heed to and really create community and understand like how our ancestors placed certain things within our DNA, within our systems, within our perspectives, within our stereotypes to protect us. And I think that we've gotten away from that through, there go that lawyer again, through integration and assimilation. So when you really start to look at how culture played such a huge part of Sinners, you begin to look at it as more than just a horror movie or anything like that, but you look at it as sort of like a cultural awakening in a way of like, all right, we are one stronger together, and we got to start to pay attention to the signs, because history is slightly beginning to repeat itself.
And I think even the symbolism of like being asked to come in and who you allow into that space. And I think that the movie, just seeing our people go to another side, also has, for me, a symbolism, right?
Yeah.
The journey of even opening up the spot, the congregation of everybody coming together to make something happen. There are a lot of different things that we either can learn from, hold on to, or use our own self. And I think that movie, it not just was culturally great, it was just really great acting, and also just a lot of things that we can pay attention to if you think deeper than the norm, which is the same thing I feel about the movie Star, but you obviously didn't see it because that just came out. But yeah, okay, I see where you're at. Is
a good one. I was sitting telling myself, when I find time, I need to do a think piece on Centers, because I could literally dissect that movie from like allyship, all these different sort of perspectives, right? Ancestral reverence and heritage, community, and what that means for us. And then also how races either it can kind of push us forward or bring us back and have their own self-serving tones while trying to be an ally. So I think that you really, really got to look at it with different lenses, and it will shake you up a little bit.
I hope that it wins some awards. I hope that it wins something. Shoot, I hope it wins a double NAACP something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, at least.
give some love to the people who are doing it.
Right.
What does a night look like that has nothing to do with work? So if you're not working and doing 1,000 things that you do, what do you do? Where you at? Who you with?
Who am I with? Where am I at? What do I do? I really enjoy dancing. So, which is crazy because no one dances out in public anymore. Everybody playing on their phone. So if it's a really good night for me, I am probably in the middle of the dance floor by myself, having the time of my life, and just allowing the music to let my troubles escape, to get some movement in my body. Like I really love dancing and then go and get something to eat. So if I
can good fine dine and a good old movement of the body.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll have a good old night there.
Mm-hmm. I was just talking to another friend about why don't people dance no more?
Like they're too busy in their phone.
Are they trying to be cute? What are they trying to do? Because if I'm going to go into a club and get all dressed up, I'm not on my phone. I'm trying to have a good time. Even if I'm by myself, like I'm going to be dancing. You know, like there's a time where I come from the era in which we had like basement parties, we had house parties, and we like get dressed up our name belts. Like we had a good time back in the day. And I miss those days of just like not being too overly masculine or trying to be overly cool or too cute. Like no, the most that we used to do is be dancing, somebody dance behind you, you look around to see who it is. And that
or your friend is telling you like,
yes, like that is the most that we would do. But we come from the same place. Got it. So yo, we used to be dancing on the walls, jumping into splits. Like we used to have a good time. And I guess I've been seeking that. I used to go to DC just to get that experience when I was younger. Because now I went to DC and it's to the stuff you were just talking about. But back in the day, I think I used to go to the Mill.
Ooh, the Mill.
That place used to be.
Oh, that sweat box used to be so fun.
Okay. you have to dance because somebody's already moving. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember Langston's?
Langston's. Langston's, by the time I got, I think Langston's was gone.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but the Mill and then Aqua and Love, when they used to have their parties, I used to be, because I used to dance in college. That's why I said I really love to dance. And I think like getting ready, which is another thing that has changed, like getting ready for the club has changed. Because even that used to be a ritual. I remember my mother, she had this yellow bathroom. I was sitting on the toilet while she's like doing her makeup. And the last thing she would do is she put on her little red lip. Put some little hair in her face, and then she would turn and she's like, "Your mother's a beautiful woman."
I know that.
Right? And it's just that feeling of like, I'm getting dressed up. It's an event. You get your hair cut, your car washed,
all that out, smelling good. You take a shower. You take a shower.
And have the time of your life. And I think that we, as a generation, we get lost in not being in the moment. So we're kind of on our phones and social media, taking us out of the moment, finding ways to be distracted instead of like enjoying the people and the energy around us, having conversations, flirting. Just
do people pick people up in person anymore?
They don't pick me up in person no more. I can't speak for nobody else. I feel like if anything, I get stared at the most. And I don't know, again, if they're trying to figure out if I'm the person on social media, if I'm new here or whatever, but I get the stares, and then I get a DM later like, "Hey, did I see you? You know you saw me."
How come people are so scared to talk about what anyway, that's a whole we can go down the line because But also, I think that as a superpower, because for example, I move into a place, I'm not the most finest person by gay standards, but I know that I am handsome.
Yeah,
People would do the same thing, but I also know my aura is completely different than most.
got you.
I'm sure you got that. I'm sure you got that same thing. You walk into a room, it's like, I'm here. And you don't ask to do it. You naturally have that. I'm here. You stand up straight. You walk
Yeah.
with power. I don't know how tall you are, but I'm sure there's a little bit of height. And so all those things come into play. And so I also think of that as a superpower. So if someone was to ever come to you and hit on you, like back in the day, if somebody came to me and tried to hit on me, I'd be like, absolutely, you took the chance. But people nowadays do exactly what you said, or they're on the apps in those places trying to see if they can find a person to hit them up. People don't know how to speak anymore.
No. It's the fear. I think it's the fear of rejection, and also I know I got a tech company. I push tech so hard, but you could get sex easier than you could get somebody to make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Sad.
So when you think of sort of the quantity of access that you have to just people, it's a lot different, and it's shifting our culture in a way for us not even to be communicative and like take the step of possibly getting rejected, right? Because that's I guess that's the fear, right? I'm gonna get rejected, so I'm not gonna say nothing. So, but if I hit him up on this, I know he on this type of time, and at least I get that instead of this. And I just think that to me, that is just so strange for me. I told you I've been single for a good long time, because I want that in-person connection. I want to feel special. I want there to be intent. But I also, for you to walk up to me if I'm out and about, that shows me that you got enough confidence to rock with me. Yeah. Because I'm in a lot of spaces that I'm gonna fly in the buttermilk bowl over here. I'm the only gay one here. I've always been the only X, right? And so if I'm looking for that partnership, that connection, it's got to be someone that I can take along in that journey, and they feel just as confident and empowered within that, but also empowered and confident enough to tell me like, hey, this made me feel this kind of way. How can we restructure or think about this differently, right? To have that true idea of a good relationship that I have, which is really fostered off of trust and communication.
Well, guys, I hope that y'all will stop being punks and say something.
Okay, come holler at me. I'm only getting
right.
I'm ready to go settle down.
Mean. Y'all gotta come out. Get your confidence up. Rejection actually creates power, y'all. It creates a great foundation. Don't be worried about rejection. If the person don't like it, they don't like it. Somebody will. Okay. So throughout your journey, has there been someone who has helped push you and navigate you in the right direction? I know now you help navigate people and you help them with their credits and figuring out how to do businesses and things like that. You are doing your thing. But who, if anyone, has been there for you and helped navigate you through the pathways of business and ownership and just being a person?
Yeah, we're talking about like romantically or like through like some mentorship?
Baby, I want both. Give me mentor and romantically. Since you offering it up, now I need both.
I'm gonna start with the positive, and then we're gonna go to the other one. But I've had the opportunity to have some really strong Black men in my life that kind of, they necessarily didn't take me all the way, but if you can think of like they handed me off to the next generation of Black men that took me under their fold. So I'm so thankful that I was able to grow up with a father that was present in the household. Was he the best father, like the world's greatest father? I guess for the medicine that I needed at that time, absolutely. Right? And it was able to get me through. And then when I got to college, I had a professor that, again, took me under his wing and allowed me to be his shadow and said, hey, when I go here, you go here. And the same thing I did with my first career out of college is like, you might not have nothing to say in this meeting, but I want you to see how business is done, how it's structured, because it was some people in that room who didn't even have a high school diploma, but had $1 billion business, right? And it makes you look at life differently and the stories that are told to you in a totally different way, as well as how they're putting together joint partnerships or strategic ventures and saying, yes, now I have all of these features because I got all of these people behind me kind of making it happen. That crazy quilt I was talking to you before about. So I think that's just them sort of setting a really good foundation and really holding my hand and say, hey, come on, because we see something in you that's great. And we really want to push and foster that. From a romantic side, that last relationship of mine.
Did a woozy boozy?
Listen. Granted, some very beautiful things came out of that. We were able to build one of the most talked about houses on social media or whatever. And that's why it's called like the fairy tale house. It was supposed to be happily ever after, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you kiss a couple frogs and a fairy tale, and that's just not your happily ever after. And
maybe
that's the situation where I think I felt like I lost a year of my life developing someone else and like that dream. But it really gave me sort of the confidence in luxury interior design, the confidence in business, the confidence to pushing back with contractors, right? Because I was leading the project. He was a time in itself, and just, whew, but just I learned
over drinks, got it.
Over drinks, but I learned so much in just how to communicate with contractors, but even as well as romantic partners about like things that just weren't going right because I wanted it to work so good. I learned how to over communicate and to figure out, all right, that again, crazy quilt, it might not feel like this, and to be forgiving. Was it the right actor that I should have been doing that with? Probably not. However, my drive to make it work allowed me to let go a lot of the stuff I thought that I was too good to do in a relationship. But as well as then I could take some of those same qualities and really push it to the max in my business and whatever relationships I continue to foster from here on out.
Dope. Okay, so I have a few more things before the hour gets through. But there's a theme that I have throughout this season 3. It's a question that I asked everybody. And you guys should know what it is. My question, I asked this question because there's so many different definitions of this word. And I have a definition for it. Webster Dictionary got a definition for the word. Child AI got a definition for the word. I want to know what the rich uncle's definition of love is. What does love mean to you?
All right, I got you. For me, love is a choice to figure it the. Can I cuss on this thing?
Absolutely. Shit, damn, fuck, damn. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. But to figure it the fuck out. Right. And having that partnership in a way of whatever life's journey happens to be, I want to figure it out with you. And the example I like to use is that I want you to be us to be so locked in that you can walk in one day and tell me you're not attracted to me anymore. And we figure out if we need to have an open relationship, if we need to take a pause, and that trust and communication, that bond is so strong that it's not necessarily about me because it's something else outside of me. But I want to figure out life with you. So let's try it. It may make me a little uncomfortable for a little bit and it may change whatever, but let's figure it out. So for me, the definition of love is that choice to figure it the fuck out no matter what. And then when it doesn't work anymore, it just doesn't work. We get off the ride and we get on another one. But I want a type of love that we just continue to choose to figure it out.
I love that. What's the best love song ever?
You know,
I'll say mine so you can think about it.
Go for
it. I'm hitting you with questions. Sorry, that's what I love to do. The best love song for me is, and people may not know the song, but I believe it's off the Mary album, Give Me You by Mary J. Blige. And in the music video, she had Michael Jordan as her love interest. And the name of the song, some of the lyrics in the song is, I don't ask for too many things. Only one thing I really need, and that is you, baby, next to me. With that, I'm satisfied. She doesn't need anything. She doesn't need diamonds. She doesn't need pearls. All she needs is his hand to hold. And she's just basically saying, give me all of you. I don't care about anything else, child. I got diamonds. I got everything else. I can take care of my damn self. I need you. And I think that is one of the best love songs that people don't even probably know about. But I say, look it up, y'all. Mary J. Blige, Give Me You. What you think?
All right, you're gonna laugh at me.
No, I won't.
I'm gonna explain.
Okay.
It's from Dreamgirls. And I don't know what it's called, but when Effie was singing to Curtis, and she was like, "You're gonna love me." Is that, I don't know if that was the name, but if you like listen to the words, there's one she's belting right to the top of her lungs, but there's
You're
one,
gonna love me. That song right there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
She says, train this girl, train this girl. I know I can, right? And
Mm-hmm.
think about sort of the desperation Effie
Mm-hmm.
had in singing that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a deeper type of love, that figure it the fuck out kind of love. Like, hey, I'm not going anywhere, and you're going to love me because we're going to figure this out. And I think that that is one of the most beautiful, unbeautiful love songs because it is so selfless. It is so, my pride isn't here in this moment. It's about the fact that I want to be with you, and I'm letting you know that I'm willing to lay down everything on the line for you at this moment so that we can be together. And it just sucks that it didn't necessarily work out for Effie, but we got a little magic. And I love
Okay. Come on. Magic was in that theater like, Jennifer was like,
she yours.
that's your daddy. No.
That's yours. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's why I've been around. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, because I think that when like that love opens you up, when people, not judging anybody, I don't know who could be friends with their exes. I just ain't never been the one.
Really?
No.
I'm friends with all my exes, all 5 of them. Now, I'm not best friends with them.
Okay.
I'm not best friends with them.
Uh-huh.
But I'm cool. Like if I'm in town, if I'm in DC, I'm going to see my ex that lives out there. If I'm, well, the last one, I don't know. That was, we're cool now, but it was a little something. But the ones way before that, I only had 3 other ones. Cool. Go to Boston if they want to hang out. I don't have, when I'm done with you, I'm done with you. I may love you because if I was in love with you, then yes, I'm going to love you. But I'm not in love with them anymore. So I can hang. I realized that things weren't perfect at that time, but I've only had one really bad breakup. So the other ones I've had have been mutual breakups. So that's also probably the reason why I'm still friends with them.
That's precious.
I have very long relationships. Like my last one was 7.5. Before that was 5. Before that was 4. Before that was 3. And before that was 2.
Whew.
Yes.
Yeah, I've only been in like 2 or 3.
Got it.
And for me, it's more or less like once I get to that level of like love, I have to sever ties for self-preservation.
Yeah.
Because there's not anything that's going to stop me from coming and swooping in and saving the day. But if it was something enough, if we couldn't figure it out, then we don't even really, I'm not saying we on fighting terms every time I see you, right? It's not necessarily on that. But like, I don't need to continue communication with you to take up man's space, whatever it happens to be, because I have to start self-preserving and then figuring out how I can be a better partner for the next person. Absolutely. And I can't do that if I'm holding on to whatever this glimmer of hope will be. And not saying I want to start it again, but like it happened and it didn't work out. Thank you and goodbye.
Do you believe in the signs, the birth signs and things like that? Do you believe in those things?
Yeah, I don't get too deep into it, but I'm a Gemini, so.
Of course you are.
Okay. And the rumors are true.
Okay. I know. Absolutely. I'm a Sagittarius. I definitely fall into all the stereotypes of the bluntness, go getting, super life of the party kind of guy. When I have to, believe it or not, I'm very much an introvert. But when I'm like in other places, I can be kind of like an extrovert. So okay, just wanted to know. Okay. Question. What will be next for you on your journey? And then I'm going to play a game with you. What would be next for you on your journey? Okay.
Outside of
He's a dreamer, y'all. So that means
I
he
am a
probably has
dreamer.
his next idea already in his mind mapped out, but just is kind of think about how he's going to say it.
Exactly, because I talked a lot about tech, so everyone knows about that. But I think the next big thing I'm working on is one of the buildings that I have over here in West Baltimore. I want to put a rich uncle store in there with like luxury home goods and baked goods and everything from that perspective. But it has that cultural undertone to it. So it feels like black ass things that are still sort of luxurious. And that's spot. Imagine Restoration Hardware meets the rich uncle. So that's one of my like babies, one of my little dreams that I'm concocting up, and it allows me to marry food, design, all of that kind of in like that fun space. My design space is my fun space. My tech, I gotta sit up straight for that all the time.
Well, Watson, we are now friends, and we're going to run some ideas. We're going to do something together. So
Okay,
just want to let you know. So
let's
don't
make
be.
it happen. I'm all
You
about
better
that.
email me back too when I email you. Like I said, we're going to do something together.
Okay, and I'll be like, cool, here go. Listen, my friends will tell you, that's probably why I ain't got no man too. I'm a horrible texter, and you gotta text me a couple times. Sometimes you gotta call, sometimes you gotta show up. I be so in the moment.
That would aggravate the hell out of me.
And life is, and it's charging to my head and not my heart. Because in my head, I've responded. I haven't. I done moved on to the next thing, and it's 2-3 days later, and I'm like, so please. I know a lot of y'all hate that these days. I feel like people got to be a constant. That is my Achilles heel, is this phone, because I'm going from meeting to meeting to this to this to this to this. There's just so much going on in this Gemini brain. Okay. But we're going to make that happen.
All right. I heard him. So boom. Next question. Who's your favorite female and male artist singing?
Beyonce.
Okay, got it. Did you go to the Carter tour thing?
I'm scheduled to go on July 4th. So
where's that one at?
Washington, D.C. Can you imagine how crazy that's going to be in Washington, D.C. on July 4th?
That's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Okay. Do you got the outfit together?
I don't. I got some pieces in here I'm going to have to pull out of the closet. And okay. I'll make sure that I shake it up. Last time I got on the website, so that's my goal again, to get on the Beyonce website.
So are we gonna do gold? I ain't going because I ain't. But we're gonna do gold.
I'm thinking about black.
Really? Isn't she? Okay.
I'm a sweat. I'm gonna sweat, but I think for sort of what this album means to me and being on July 4th in Washington, D.C., that black is a very symbolic color to wear in that moment.
No, do you and your friends get together like, here's what we're doing? Like, do you do that? I do it with my friends.
Me too. Me and my good girlfriend. The one thing that we gonna do is we're gonna be alignment. We might show up looking like Power Rangers or whatever, but I want my friends to get the same amount of shine as I'm getting.
Absolutely.
We're gonna show up looking like a girl group up in that thing. Everybody got their own style to it, but it's, y'all know we together.
The team is right. I know that's right.
Matthew Knowles got us together in the back.
Hello. What about the male artist?
Male artist. I could say Big Sean. And I know we don't hear enough about him, but if you get into his lyrics, they are so uplifting in a way that is like totally different and beyond measure for me. So I really enjoy sort of listening to Big Sean, him talking about like his upbringing in Detroit and the changes that he want to see, bringing his team up with him. Like, it's very uplifting to me. So Big Sean would be my male.
Do you think that we're ever going to get a DC5?
Who is DC5?
Destiny Child 5. So all the girls except for the suitcase girl.
No, I don't know if I want to see that.
What? Are you serious?
I think it would be cute for a reunion, but I think that each woman has sort of defined their own embodiment, and I don't want to put them in a situation where they have to be compared to against like that, because who wants to be compared to Beyonce? Who wants to be compared to Kelly Rowland? Like they've become staples in their career. And to kind of group them back together and force themselves to be put in that position to where too much has changed. It's been 2030.
I still want to see it. I feel like in the group component of it all, I think Beyonce was good at taking the back seat. She can't help that her voice is just amazing, that she's going to shine. But when it was DC3, they had a great balance. Like Michelle did what she needed to do. Kelly did the second verse. Beyonce did a lot of ad libs and all the funk that we needed. And I think that they all came together. They'll figure out a way to make all the differences come together. And it'll be kind of different because Latavia, she really didn't do much. And no, they Latoya. So to know that actually, which I was surprised about, Latoya can actually sing. So now that we know that, figuring out how to blend all their voices together. So anyway, random thought.
I think that they would work great together. So Beyonce, I love you. I think y'all as people would work. I think it would be the fans, social media, that will cause sort of such a disruption that it would be distasteful, and that's what I don't want to see.
And messing up their legacy. I get that.
Exactly.
I get that. I was coming from a creative point of view, how I'm always seeing artists. I'm always visioning what an artist will look like and what the media will look like, what the songs may sound like. That's my brain goes. But you're right. The media part, we as a people need to do better by just supporting our people and stop always finding something negative to say about our people, because other people do not do that. And you wonder why our people are unable to move forward and get above when we're obviously way more educated and qualified for a lot of different positions. So that's the message to all your people who are always hating. But I said it with love, so take it in and ingest it.
I endorse that message.
Okay. My one last question for you, and then I'm going to get you out of here because I know you got another meeting to go to. So if you were to put together a super group of 3 individuals who's out today, who would it be?
And this is musically, right?
Musically. And I'll tell you who mine is.
Okay. Oh, I'll go first.
I can go first and then let you get it. Okay? Well, he was like, I'm thinking Tiana Taylor. I'm thinking, I'm gonna tell you why. Tiana Taylor, Keke Palmer, and Little Mo. I mean, not Little Mo, Little Mama. And here's my reason why. All 3 of them can dance. Tiana Taylor has a really strong voice. So does Keke. Little Mama has like a street type of feel, and I think she's good with other females. And I think they're all beautiful. And I would like to see Keke drop the acting era that she has over her and really focus on that vocal, because she has them, but people still see her as a Disney character. And so I think with the creative mind of Tiana Taylor, because that's a genius.
Yeah.
All of them together would be lit.
That's a good one. I'm glad that this is one of the last questions, because I feel like you're going to judge me after I say this.
I sure will if it's bad.
It's going to be Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, and Mulatto.
Mulatto, okay.
Mulatto, Big Lotto. Sorry,
Big Lotto.
I was on Rap Game when it was just Mulatto, but I feel like a good, because I love female rap. Female rap is so empowering.
Just all you're gonna see.
Okay.
That's all you're gonna see is titties. Like titties gonna be bouncing everywhere. Okay.
Yes, you see my vision.
Yes, booty just ga. That would be a good ass group. I didn't even think about putting in the rap. That was a really good. I would actually like to see them do something together.
Exactly. They kind of complement each other in a very different way. They got their different sound, but if they were to come together and give me like a concert or something.
And even an interview from the 3 of them together as a group would probably be lit. Like it'd be so funny.
If you gave me a 4th, I'm throwing Glorilla.
I want to say I need a Glorilla in that too.
Honorable mention. All right.
Yeah. I can't with you. I really enjoyed this interview. I hope that you did too. Can you let everybody know where to find you on social media?
Yes. So you can find me on social media at The Rich Uncle, and that's Uncle with a K. on TikTok, and then the Rich Uncle underscore True on Instagram. And then if you're looking for that wellness that we were talking about before, that's going to be HealthLink 360. And we're really on a move, trying to grow this wait list to about 10,000 users before we release the app. But remember, it's all about us building community, and we're trying to decode the whispers that's going on within our culture.
Absolutely. The uncle with the K, is that on purpose?
It is on purpose. My name is Kenneth with the K.
Okay.
I see where you're trying to go with that.
I was just trying to see. That's why I got the creative, I just wanted to know if we was on the same wavelength. But all right. So y'all know to follow me, Dr. Kreative, on all social medias, and that's Dr. Kreative with a K. And every Wednesday we be out here doing what we do. Thank y'all so much for following, and make sure you follow my friend Kenneth Watson. And thank you again. And I'm going to go ahead and sign out, but don't leave me. All right. See y'all.
All right.